Start right now. All right, we on. Welcome back to Just Two Black Brothers. Me and my homie DJ Period. We're live on YouTube right now. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. 1212 and place to be with Neika Simone. How you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Glad to have you on.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here with you today.
All right. So before the interview, this is an icebreaker. What you had going on today? Let us know what you was doing today.
Well, I had to go to the doctor and I found out that I have the flu.
Oh, so you still that's I appreciate that you still gave us the interview, pushing it through. What are you taking?
What am I taking? There's nothing that I can take. I passed that threshold of time where I could take like the Tamiflu. So I'm in the just waited out period, but it's all good. So at least I'm home and, I'm comfortable. And so that's the good thing. And I'll just have to wait it out and, go from there.
All right, then I was looking at, I said, where's Kings Mountain, North Carolina?
Kings Mountain is near Charlotte, North Carolina. So if you know anything about Charlotte, that's the Queen City. So Kings Mountain is maybe about a good 30, 40 minutes, depending on where you're going in Kings Mountain, southwest of Charlotte. So like where my mom and dad home is, where I grew up, is basically not even a good 5 minutes from the South Carolina state line.
So why do you call it King? Is it like a lot of mountains out there or something? Like why
there are actually mountains there. Yes, there are. So there are definitely mountains there. It's not like the Blue Ridge Parkway, but it's a beautiful area. And it's in what we call the foothills of North Carolina. And one of the things that I love when I go home to visit my parents and to visit my family is when you're at the top of one of the peaks close to my mother and father's house, you see, if you look in the distance on a really clear day, you can see the mountains in the distance. It's just beautiful. So if you like that kind of scenery, then it's definitely a beautiful place to visit. And it's on the way heading towards the mountains, like towards Asheville, depending on which direction you're coming from in your travels.
Have you ever seen any giants on the mountains? They said it'd be giants on the mountains and stuff.
Now that I have never seen.
No, I just heard about that. Like I was looking it up because they even saying like you know how like a lot of military people was fighting when they was fighting over there looking for Osama bin Laden. Mm-hmm. So they said they found a big old giant in one of them caves, came out and beating up all of them. They had to like just shoot and dump on them to kill them. So I was like, ever since then, I just been like looking more about that stuff, and people be saying a lot of giants are in mountains and stuff. So I was like, I gotta ask you since you know about mountains.
Never heard of that one, but no.
So you was telling me, and then you was talking about your name a little bit before we started, and you saying you was named after Nina Simone. I actually am a fan of Nina Simone. She has the song "Feeling Good." That was like one of my songs that birds in the sky, you know how I feel. And she has a song called Mississippi Goddamn, and I'm from Mississippi, so. And I know the reason I really got turned on to her because I was like, I found out Lauryn Hill, she influenced Lauryn Hill, so I was like, oh, that made me go dig into her. So yeah, just tell us more about Nina Simone.
About Neika or Nina?
Nina, like I'm saying since you was named after, did you ever look her up and check her music?
Oh yes, for sure. For sure. My mother and father are huge music fans. Now they're not really like my mother loves to sing, my dad sings a little bit, but they love music. So I was raised with that. So for me to eventually learn about my name and being named after Nina Simone and really beginning to have a love for jazz, that was also a big thing for me, a big component. Yeah, I had to definitely look into Nina and find some things about her. Feeling Good is one of my favorites as well. her voice is so distinct. It's just there's no one's voice that is like hers. And I just love that uniqueness of about her. I love the strength that she displayed. I love um the way that she stood for what she believed in, and she did that through her music. And you don't find there are people who still do that today, but she was definitely one of the pioneers in that time period who definitely did that. So I feel that carrying her name, or part of her name anyway, is a big responsibility. So it's definitely something where I don't want to let her down, for sure.
All right. Now so let us know about Neika Simone, like about yourself and your background, how you got into music.
Okay. So as I mentioned, my parents are into music. So, they have a huge love for it. As a kid, my mother actually took piano lessons. She grew up really, really poor she and my father did when they were kids. So one of the things my mother wanted to do as an adult was take piano lessons. So she took piano lessons, and I would often go with her when she took her lessons. And I was curious because I would sit there, and of course I knew better than to interrupt her. But after the fact, I would listen, I would ask her questions, and she was like, "You want to take piano lessons?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want to do that." So she enrolled me in piano lessons. So around maybe a little bit before my 7th birthday, I started taking piano lessons at a college through a college professor rather in Belmont, North Carolina. And so that was my start for being trained in piano, being classically trained. And on the flip side of things, I was always into music, singing, humming, whatnot as a kid. And I started singing in the church choir. And so that's where I got my start, was singing in the church choir, on that little Sunbeam choir, the youth choir, doing all that. And then eventually that carried on into school and, continued to morph into other things.
Yeah, I started off in the children's choir too. I had a lead song.
What was your song?
My song was Child of the King.
Okay.
What was your song? Oh, you had
Let me
songs? I
see.
had one song. They let me do one. That was it.
Okay. Well, I had to do more, but the first song that I did a solo on, I have to laugh. But people know this if they know anything like about, like quartet singing and all of that. There was this song called "I Don't Want No Peanut Butter and Jelly. I Want My Soul to Be Saved."
Okay.
And that was the song that I had to sing. That was the first solo that I had.
Yeah,
So
it's intense singing for church, man. Like if you can sing in church, you can make it. Pressure, man. They don't lie to you at church. They're gonna tell you everything you feel. Oh, what's up,
so,
Ron?
Wait, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you good.
No, I'm having some trouble. I'm having like computer trouble. I don't feel well. I think I got laryngitis. What's
Okay.
going on, man? Like when I talk, if I keep talking, my voice will like start cracking or whatnot. But welcome to the podcast. This is the Just Two Black Brothers. We thank you for showing up. We
thank
thinking
you.
and talking with us. Poe usually take a break on this podcast. He do PoPolitickin, so he let me shine on this one. But I'm a little under the weather, but with the Sean. So you let the people know who you are, you let everybody know where you from. Just got some scenario questions for you, if that's okay.
Let's roll. I'm with it.
All right, I just like to ask the guests little things about them, because what we always say is that people like people for things that they do outside of the music. Like you can sing all you want or play all you want, but if you're not relatable, right, it's hard to connect with some fans. So we try to just other things about the person as well as the music. But let's say you were at a show and you up next and you walk out there and the crowd is looking tired. What song would you play? Would you play for them, or what would for them to pump them back up?
Oh, it depends on what kind of crowd it is, because everybody, You know, like for me, you know, I love some old school. Like I love the old school, like old, not old school. I mean, because I'll be dating myself if I say too much old school. So,
I got
so I love like some R&B. Like I like little Avery Sunshine Anderson. Maybe like Heard It All Before,
man.
or
Come on, we can stop right there. Paul, what's my song? That's my
hey,
song. What she say? Look, that song right there. You can feel it, right?
you can.
She going through it too.
That's right.
What she say? What were you thinking? Bringing her into our home, in our bed. You
Must
must
have.
have fell and bumped your head. Man, look, she went. Hey, she went in on him though. Cause I know he. Look, I always tell people, I would hate to be the dude she's singing that song to, right?
It be like that sometimes, though. You know.
But why? You think like people are always just going to have an issue in a relationship, or do you think there are
No,
perfect? Do you think there are perfect relationships out there?
not whatsoever. None. Because there are no perfect people, so there are definitely not going to be any perfect relationships
Hey,
at all.
I remember what I was listening to Michelle Obama. I think she was saying like it don't never really be 50-50 in a relationship. That's what people gotta understand. You think it's gonna be 50-50, but it ain't gonna never. Either
Look
side,
at
like sometimes either side, like it might be 60-40 one side one day, might be 70-30, but it ain't gonna never just be people wanting to be even and everything perfect, but that, it don't really be like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lady. She was married. She said she was married to her husband for like 50 years. How you make it work? She said I had to forgive him 50 times. She said
And
she had to just keep on forgiving and forgiving. Same, and on his part too, he said he did some forgiving as well. But like you have to. I mean, I guess you have to have that. You got to have some forgiveness in your heart if you want it to last. Correct. Some people
you
just leave on the first thing.
That's very true. But, you know, again, it comes to that thing of where you have to look at yourself and you have to go, am I perfect? You know, no. So, you know, you gotta show the other person some grace, unless they're just like out here, you know, out there. You know,
Yeah.
otherwise you gotta give that person some grace.
I agree. And y'all was talking about the church. Like I sing. We do praise and worship at the church. I actually sing, and I used to didn't want to sing at church. It was like embarrassing. I tried to act like I was a gangster, right? So I'm like, look, I cannot be in the church singing. Man. I'm a gangster, right? So I said, forget it. You know what? But we it's like what, four? It's only four of us. I don't have any solo songs, but I do have some like my favorites, but they haven't given me a solo yet. But like Poe said it's a lot of you get critiqued a lot in the church. But my thing is this: you ain't there to sing, you ain't in there to impress nobody, right? You in there to sing for. So
That's right.
They tell them
That's
that though.
tell,
Shit.
no, you can't, because they be trying to do their best in there. They be going in the church. You like, are you doing this for you? Or are you doing this for God? Because you sound real good. Uh, but what makes you choose jazz
Oh.
out of genres of music?
So jazz came to me in college. I have a funny story. So my freshman year, I was a music major, and I was majoring in music education. So I was in the building with people who are in the music industry study program. So they were learning how to, you know, produce music, do all the stuff, learn about the music business, all of that. And the guys were working on, because it was mostly men, guys. So they were working on projects. So they were in the studio and they needed someone to come in and do some ad libs. So they'd heard, oh, she can sing, but I was in the concert choir. Notice concert choir, like
Exactly.
classical singing. So they asked me to come in. They didn't know me. Only one of them knew me. So I went in, they played the music and like, okay, do these ad libs. And so I'm in there. I feel like I'm in my zone, have the headphones on, I'm going and I'm, vibing with the music and I'm singing. And then I open my eyes because the song is over and I look in the window and like their faces all look at me like, what just happened? Because that was not what we asked you to do. So I pick up all my little pride, my little ego. And I walk out the building and that one person who I did know came out and he was like, hey, don't you worry about that. He was like, your voice is not for this style. He was like, but have you ever thought about jazz? And and it was just something I had never thought about or considered. And that was like the thing that actually turned that light switch on for me. And like, I started picking up jazz CDs and because I am that old. So I started picking up jazz CDs and I was like listening to Coltrane and, just like listen to all these different people. And I was just like, I literally fell in love with the music from that point on. And that love and admiration for that style of music has just continued to grow over time.
And if somebody's watching and they like, man, is jazz just playing an instrument? Is it? Or some people would think it's just like growing up, we just thought jazz was playing a saxophone or a trumpet or something. But could you explain to some people like what is jazz to you?
To me, it's conversational. That's what I love about it. It's the beauty. That's the beauty of it. It's so conversational. So like, you can scat with a horn player. So you can have this like musical conversation. You can throw a little something. They can play a little something. You go, hey, okay, I got that back. And then, it's so conversational. You can, the beauty of it to me is like, you really see the personality of people. So like, sometimes horn players that play lots and lots and lots of elaborate lines and things that may just be their personality, and some people are more subdued and, they're more calm with their approaches. And that's kind of how I am, I'm more calm. So sometimes I don't have as much to say, but it depends on who I'm with and what the mood of the situation may be. So it's conversational, it's relaxing, it's fun, it can be upbeat, it can be energetic, it can be so many different things, just like I think any other style of music, but I love it. That's my thing.
Got it. And are there some jazz artists that we may not know of that you keep in rotation?
Ooh, so there are okay, so let's talk about some more current people. Like I love Gene Baylor, who Johnny. So Gene Baylor is huge, Grammy nominated, like the Baylor Project. She and her husband she's phenomenal. I love her. I love to also listen, Layla Hathaway, who she bridges over many genres. So she's not just, she fits sometimes into the smooth jazz, but she can also go over here to R&B soul and Jewel O'Neill's. So she's just kind of everywhere. Mesa is someone else that I love to listen to. Okay. She's got one of those silky smooth voices as well. But those are some of like my top favorite ones that I have.
That you currently listen to. All right. And we had a video we was gonna play? Are you on mute?
Yeah.
He was gonna play one of your videos for the people
right now.
What we playing for?
Hold on, let me do this first. Y'all can see my screen?
Yeah, but it's showing us exit. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, picture perfect.
And can you tell us about this song?
Yeah.
Okay, so Picture Perfect. I'm sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze. Picture Perfect is about these two people who are in this relationship. And just like we were talking about, the relationship is not always 50-50 and it ain't going to really ever be 50-50. But one person is tired of holding, because it's almost like it's like 80-20. And this person is tired of that whole thing of being so having to carry the weight of that relationship. And the other person is basically going, we've got this perfect picture of a relationship. Please don't crop me out of this perfect picture. So Picture Perfect.
We've got the perfect picture. As long as I'm in it, oh, I'll pride aside. I just wanna be where you got me up, crop me up, crop me up. Don't crop me up, don't crop me up. Oh. I don't wanna expose ya, I just wanna be close to you. Privileged just to know you. Get lost when I'm holding you. Sunflowers and sunny days, you make the pain go away. Polaroids all over my place, I can't get tired of your face. And when the wheels fall off, I'ma ride with you till the car breaks down. And when you get fed up, I'ma be the one to hold you down. Sometimes I get out of focus, and sometimes you get out of frame. We make a couple of edits, that's just the name of the game. We've got the perfect picture. As long as I'm in it, oh, I'll pride aside. I just wanna be where you got me up, crop me up, crop me up. Don't crop me up, don't crop me up. Sometimes we're oversaturated, sometimes we're faded, and sometimes we're jaded. Sometimes we're tainted by the things that people say, but who ask them anyway? Most of them only hate. Let's take a selfie, babe, 'cause all I need is you. Tell them we ain't got no room. We're so beautiful, we don't mind the zoom. Sometimes I get out of focus, and sometimes you get out of frame. We make a couple of edits, that's just the name of the game. We've got the perfect picture. As long as I'm in it, oh, the perfect picture. As long as I'm in it, oh, the perfect picture. As long as I'm in it, oh, the perfect picture. As long as I'm in it, oh, the perfect picture. As long as I'm in it, oh, the perfect picture. As long as I'm in it, oh, the perfect picture. As long as I'm in it, oh, the perfect picture. As long as I'm in it, oh, the perfect picture. As long as I'm in it, oh, the perfect picture. As long as I'm in it, oh, I'll pride aside. I just wanna be where you got me up, crop me up, crop me up. Don't crop me up, don't crop me up.
Oh yeah.
You're listening to 103.5.
My bad.
Okay, yeah. Who didn't want to be cropped out? Him.
Yeah.
I know. I was like, yep. I always be trying to just ask reassuring questions. I knew that's what it was. Yeah, he didn't want to be cropped out. But no, I think that happens a lot, man. Like we did something like locally where like even like I think Poe might know about it, but like a past wife or whatever, like all of this stuff behind the scenes, the wife is like forced to keep picture going, right? Because you don't want to mess that like reputation of that person and his status, so you just kind of like deal with an 80-20 relation. But there is going to come a time tables are going to turn on that person, correct? So yeah,
Yes.
that's kind of like what I'm seeing a situation like that play out now, where it's like, oh, this person has finally decided that, hey, enough is enough. And I'm telling everybody what you don't care. So it's all bad right now.
Yeah.
But is it easier to write based on your personal experience, or is it easier to write about something that you just know about?
I think it's a combination of both. I think I was gonna say it. Maybe unfortunately, but fortunately, that I've had my share of relationship experience. And then I like to listen and learn and just kind of hear the things that people have to say about relationships as well. So it's like all of it kind of fits hand in glove. And when it comes to writing,
That would be kind of like smart artists to be like, especially artists doing like probably like R&B or something, to have like show or a podcast where they talk to people with relationship issues so they could just draw song ideas from it. So you could be giving this person help and advice on, and you getting song ideas to write at the same time.
mm-hmm.
Look, babe,
Very
we gotta
true.
make something. We got with those strawberry letters, you could turn those into like a song.
Some of them
Are crazy, right?
Yeah.
Some of them you sing about that, you going to jail. They go,
Right.
you know too much of the situation, you going to jail. Do you give out music lessons? Or are people come to you to?
I do. I do. I've worked with students from all different ages, from maybe from the age of 8 all the way to 70 years of age. So I've worked with all kinds of people. But I definitely love working with people who are preparing for specific things. Like some of my former students have prepared for college admissions for music theater programs and things of that nature. So that's always a lot of fun to do, and to watch that growth. And watch how they're, to watch, like one of my students came in when she was a kid, and she had this big, huge voice and this huge personality to go along with it. And she was so free and just like, blah,
Right.
And so to watch her grow over the years, and then to watch her prepare for her audition for college was just like, wow, like, I can't believe this baby has grown up, But I love it. I love to watch the growth of my students, and just watch their voices grow and progress, and just I love it. It's just, there's nothing like that. So.
Got it. And any non-musical hobbies you currently have?
Non-musical hobbies. Let's see. I don't know. There were things that I definitely used to do that were non-musical. Like I used to play tennis a lot. Like that's something that's fun. I definitely still work out now. I work out with a trainer. Coach Tina.
Shout out the trainer.
Yeah. But she is wonderful. She pushes me. It's so funny because she's like, if I don't see the face, you're not working hard enough. She's like, so I got to put it on you till you get the face. So she pushes me till I give the face. There's no smiles left. There's no nothing. I'm just, trying to get through it. So she's wonderful,
definitely.
but yeah.
She's not like that trainer, that guy who be walking around with a shirt walking. What's that dude on Instagram? It's like a big old buff dude. He always have his shirt off, and he be training people. Them at Wendy's though. He kicked the food out their hand and everything. It's probably stay or whatever, but it's pretty funny.
Oh.
So let's say you got some fans here. They want to catch you at a live performance. What can they expect from you at a live show?
I want to have fun. That's for sure. I want to have fun. I want the people who are in the audience to have a good time with me too. So I want to bring music to them that they can vibe on, that they can rock with. So I like to have good energy, just to bring that good vibe, that positive energy into my performances. And I try to make sure that everything is relatable. So I want them to feel like, hey, I'm not just at a show, but I'm having an experience while I'm here, kind of thing.
Right.
So,
and you don't mind getting along to the songs, right?
Oh, no. Do.
You just don't take a microphone. I was watching a clip of Beyonce was walking through a crowd, and the girl was begging for the microphone like she could sing. And Beyonce put the mic on her, and then she sounds just like I'm talking now, trying to sing Beyonce song. I was like, why are you asking for the microphone and you can't sing? And Beyonce was just so nice enough to give it to her. But I got another question. So this is one I usually ask everybody. You're hosting a dinner party. You can invite 3 people to this dinner party, dead or alive. Who will you bring into your dinner party, and what are you going to serve?
Oh man, is it one person or just
3.
multiple?
3.
3 people? Oh.
Over the history of time, dead or alive,
Mm.
and what would you serve?
Oh man, that's a hard one. Oh man. Okay, one of the first people was sure enough be my brother. My brother passed away about 15 years ago. Sure enough, that would be like number one. My brother, and I have to say this, my brother like had this thing about him where he believed like, you put yourself out there, the only thing that people can tell you is no. And he lived by that. And so that was something that he's definitely passed on to me. I didn't necessarily have that before he passed away, but after he passed away, I really tried to take that mantra on.
Mm-hmm.
Another person I would invite is one of my biggest inspirations besides Nina Simone, which is Ella Fitzgerald. Her childhood was so crazy. I mean, she was even homeless as a kid, at one time. So to one of her quotes is, it doesn't matter where you come from, it only matters where you're going. So I would just love to pick her brain, just to have conversations. And of course, Nina Simone, I can't pass her up.
Right.
So so that's 3 people. So now let me think, what would I have for dinner? Some good food. Some good food. So
gonna be a lot of singing going on too, probably.
Yeah, gonna have some great singing going on. Gonna have some great times. Like, my goodness. I mean, I think I would even throw like a Nancy Wilson up in there too. Like, gosh. Yeah, I mean, Lord, they were just like dynamite women. They were so awesome. So
I was talking with someone today for work though. And we were talking about just because what you said about it's not about where you from, is where you're going. But kind of like in line with that was a lot of Black people, African Americans, got PTSD.
Yeah.
And they don't even know what that is though.
That's so true.
I was talking to somebody today, they was like, they just got a job at the VA, actually, working with the veterans. And she was like, you know what, working with the vets, I think I realized I got PTSD too. I was like, look, most Black people in America got PTSD because just the way we grew up, things we went through. We probably weren't supposed to be getting beat in the head with race car tracks, right? We probably weren't supposed to be getting some of those things probably weren't supposed to be happening to us.
Maybe not. Yeah, that might not have been a good idea, but
we try to carry that on to our kids. You be like, yo, wait, I ain't supposed to be beating these kids with but a lot of things, right? Like we talk about making wish sandwiches, right? You probably weren't supposed to be making syrup sandwiches and stuff like that.
That was an after school treat.
And
I think about that now.
And you can't tell people that. You can't tell people that stuff now. If your kid go to school and say, "Mama gave me a sandwich with just syrup on it."
Oh my God. Yeah, that's a no.
So we were pretty messed up, right?
But we were. But we made it, and it wasn't all bad. I feel like we turned out pretty good. Now, do we need to be on somebody's couch? Yes, most of us do.
Most of us need to be on somebody's couch, man, because like a lot of those things you try to run away from and say, "I'll never do it" because of what happened. I think me and Paul talked about it before, but that stuff be in your DNA already. You can't really run. You could try to get help for it, but you can't really. It's not in you. So it's like you try to find like I always use the example of like if you had a dad who was a Rolling Stone always out doing this thing. You know what? I'll never do that because I don't like mom felt when da 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 da. Then you sit as a grown up, be like, wait a minute, why is this thought in my mind, or why am I trying to do X, Y, and Z? And you don't know why. You don't know. You never work to try to take care of that. A pastor once said, the diseases that we have as a people, that we have because we don't seek out help for them because we can't fight them on our own.
So true. We can't. We
Right?
can't.
And
there's such a stigma that many of us have in the Black community about getting mental health, getting help for mental health, and it shouldn't be. I mean, I have been to therapy, and I won't say like a number of times, but I have definitely been, and I'm so grateful that I chose to do it. I mean, because the things that I was dealing with, like after my brother passed away, I mean, I'd never experienced anything like that before, so,
losing a sibling is tough.
Right. So it's like, how do you put one foot in front of the other and keep moving? Like, what do you do? And sometimes life is definitely not going to always give you what you plan for, what you hope for. Sometimes things come around that corner that, will knock the wind out of you, and you got to figure out how to move beyond that thing. And sometimes you need some help to do it. And it's more than just talking to your friend or, like I like to journal sometimes. I mean, I can journal all I want, but I'm not helping. That helps me put it on paper, but it doesn't help me to like get some tools to get over, to get around. So,
What about smoking weed?
That's therapy. Is it for you, Paul?
It's unique.
To me, it is, yeah.
It's
definitely
got its benefits.
Yeah, she been going to a therapist. Shit.
It is. Hey, look, my wife, she be doing the she used the app on the phone and the iPad. If I see her typing on that thing, I be getting scared. I be like, yo, what you typing, man? Like, what's going on? But nah, she just write whatever, like what's going on. Like if a moment happened. I got my 17-year-old daughter here from a previous marriage. So like, I don't know. Look, I'm going through it, y'all. Anybody listening, just throw some prayers up for us over here. Because she's 17, about to be 18. But it's just whew. Children?
No, I don't. Well, I have stepdaughters, but they're grown. So I have no children of my own.
But y'all everybody got along. Like, I don't know, man. This thing here, I guess it's like a 50-50, right? It's like she want to have those moments, right, where y'all just don't agree on something. But I don't know, man. I think I never thought about the daughter and mom relationship. It'd be crazy sometimes. So she about to be 18.
Yeah, it's that's a tough age. I can say as a teacher, it can be a tough age because that's the age of like, I want to be, I think I'm grown. Like I remember when my youngest stepdaughter said to my husband, I'm grown. Nobody can tell me anything. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, let me look out the window. Like, anything, and my husband was like white knuckling on the, the steering wheel of the car because he was like, I'm gonna kill this child, and the funniest thing about it is, that was years ago. And so now she's like, I don't even remember saying that. She's like, did I say that? I'm like, yeah, baby, you said that. You did.
I heard it. I was there.
Right. I was there.
No, they do say some crazy. They say some crazy stuff though, like, but look, I always remember about the Mike Epps skit where he said the mama and the daughter always get into it, and the mama always get on the phone with her friend and be like, let's knock Shaniqua up against that wash machine and dry today because of what she said to me.
They get your own tampons.
Listen, buy your own damn tampons. You want to talk like that in the house? Yeah, I was like, man, she was so mad, but nah, I get it, but. Yeah, I guess like the parenting, you got to just learn how to do your own, right? Because like I said, I can't really go back to the way I was parented because some of those things, you would have been knocked up against that washing machine to dry, talking like that to your parents. But now it's like you can't really You just got to talk to them, and hopefully they'll get it. Like you said, yeah, when they turn 20, 21, they like, hey, because they say at like the teenage years, they don't like to say I love you, but then after like 20, they started going back into like, oh, they're like, oh, love you, mom, or whatever. But it's just something about a teen. They ain't finna tell you they love you, right?
And that's very true. I think about when I was around that age, about 19-ish, 19, 20. And I remember I went someplace and I was home for like college break, and I went someplace my mom didn't really agree with me going. And so I came back home, and my mom was like, she was folding clothes, and she was like, well, did you have a good time? I was like, yes. And she was like way too calm. So I was like, oh Lord, something about to go down up in here. You know, she's folding. And she was like, well, let me tell you something. You live in the house with us. And as long as you are here, you will abide by our rules or you will get out. And I was like, okay. Because my mom was not, she did not like make a fuss. But that calmness, I was like, she meant every single word that she said.
So she could like, legally make you. You know, but no, yeah. So it's fun. Looking back on those stories are pretty funny. They probably weren't at the time, but
no.
So back to the music. Really working on any projects right now?
Yeah, actually, I'm working on a new album, and I hope to release that sometime in March. It's called Point of View, and it's really about well, let me just say, I write songs about relationships, even if it's the relationship that I have with myself, like how sometimes things happen in life that just really hurt and kind of knock you down, and you lose your footing and you start to doubt yourself. So, you know, you have to change your point of view, the way that you look at yourself, the way that you look at situations, to get on the other side and keep moving on. So this album that's the name of the album, but it's also full of relationship songs, like songs that reflect on love that has been there for a long time, songs about new love, songs about friendship. So just relationships. I really value relationships. So I like to definitely share that with my listeners.
Okay, perfect. And where could one go now to find your music? How can they find you on social media? And where could they find your music?
The easiest way to find my music is, well, on your favorite digital platform. You can download my music there, on any of them. You can also check me out on my website, which is www.neikasimone.com. That's NEIKASIMONE. And there you'll find all of my social media handles. You'll find YouTube links, all that good stuff. And that will take you to my pages. Please do like and follow, because I'd love for you to follow along and see what I'm up to over the weeks and months and years to come.
Perfect. And we want to thank you on behalf of the podcast for spending some time with us this evening. We definitely going to stay connected with you, follow your career. If you ever want to come on to release a new song or just to talk with us, we always here. You know, we always tell all the guests, you family now. So look, anytime. So once again, thank you. Before we go, anything you want to leave young aspiring artists?
I would say, well, first, let me say thank you all for having me on your show. I truly appreciate the opportunity. And for young aspiring artists, I would say be true to yourself. Like, you know, in this process of like releasing music and, you know, pursuing my dreams, I really had to be strong in who I am. And sometimes you may not know who you are, but I think in the process of doing all this, you will find that out. But once you figure that out, stay true to it, because that is what's going to shine through to people. Like what you see with me is who I really am. You know, I am this warm, bubbly, upbeat person, even with the flu. So this is who I am, and I'm this way, you know, whenever, not all the time, unless I'm asleep. So be who you are.
Perfect. All right, everybody. Neika Simone, Just Two Black Brothers. Po, you got anything before we leave?
No, it was nice talking to you.
Thank you. Thank you. It was nice talking to you as well. And thank you again for having me on your show.
All right. Take care. Feel better.